Hello, loves! Ignore my totally crazy hair, but I wanted to tell you guys just a little heads up before you dive into this bonus, where it comes from so you have a better grasp on what I'm going to share with you guys today. This is a really, really freaking amazing training, if I do say so myself, about how to look at everyone in your industry and see what everyone's doing and not compare yourself and kind of disconnect from that, and to stop your scroll and to scroll intentionally and to show up on social media intentionally. And if you are an influencer or if you do have a personal brand, and if you're in this program, you probably definitely do, this is going to help you immensely with that. So this training bonus has actually been taken from my experience group, which is actually an ongoing membership for those who pre-ordered my book, but anyone can join at any time. And there's like not only audio chapters in there, I'm gonna have random like things come up because I'm getting emails, but there's like there's audio chapters in there, there's posts from when I very first started my book and all that stuff, but then there's also updated trainings forever and ever and ever. And the experience group is really a space where instead of just thinking about things all the time, you actually go out and you experience them, right? But it's about experiencing your life. So there's like dares in there, there's discussion threads, there's like ongoing coaching support within there. So if that's something that you do feel called to, I'll leave a link below if you did want to join and wanted to see what's up with that. But this is an example of a training. I took it directly from my experience group just to share as a bonus for you guys. And it's so fucking good. So I hope you love it. And if you want more information about the experience group, I'll drop the link below. But I hope you freaking love this. Grab a coffee, grab a pen, grab a piece of paper, and grab a smile on your damn face, and then come join me within this bonus. Woo! Okay, we are officially live. Jeez. Guys, you got a little extra time to pee, grab a coffee, grab your notebook. If you're watching this in the future, you definitely want a notebook. You definitely want to go get a coffee. Get yourself settled, take some time for yourself, just hang on out. And yeah, we're gonna have a lot of fun. What is up? What is up? I would not let me go live from my computer, so you guys got a little extra time while I like ran to my car and I had to get my phone charger. I'm gonna give us more light in here because it looks doom and gloom. And we are not about the doom and gloom vibes. That's a little better. Hi, Jessica. What's up? What's up? Okay, so if you do not have a notebook, grab a fucking notebook. Did you see me go live 1,000 times? I went live like 3 times, and each time it would like get super weird. Like it would only let me go live for like 30 seconds, and then it would get so glitchy. And I was like, oh, well, shit. Well, shit. Okay. So I'm going to tell you guys a discovery that I made, which I'm really excited about. This is the first time I'm actually sharing it with people. Like I'm going to go in depth. Okay. We're going to go in depth. This is why you want a notebook, because I'm going to give you guys a little bit of in real time homework right now. So grab a notebook, grab a pen. So it'll be super fun. But I'm going to tell you guys the epiphany, the like literally mind-blowing epiphany that I had yesterday. That is something that I have been kind of struggling with for the past couple years. I didn't even know it was still under the surface. I thought I was over and done with it. And then when I actually broke this down, I was like, well, no fucking wonder why. No wonder why it's been such a shit show, right? Okay, and I'm also going to pull up your guys' goals so that I can kind of go through it single by single and like kind of help with you guys, right? Okay. So I'm going to start with Jesse's goal. Jessica. I call you like everything. But Jesse's goal. We're going to go through her goal. I'm going to kind of open up everyone's goals, but we're going to talk about that because this is just, it's interesting that you said like you're trying to fill your one-on-one. Sorry, I'm pulling it up right now to get like what you actually said. Yeah, I've been trying to fill up my private coaching for far too long. I realized I wanted to live the life I had finally given myself through the work I do and experience it before the hustle of work came back. But if I truly love what I do and believe in it 100%, why do I still question it? That's fascinating. So what I want you guys to do, I'll take all the names. Amazing. Yeah, that's so funny. And then eventually, like, I'll just like make up a nickname for you. That's my thing. That's like, you know, that yeah, if I like call you a million things or like you have a specific nickname, like I worked privately with Taylor Lee, used to be Taylor Manning, and I call her T Sizzle. Like that's, I just like refer to her as T-Sizzle all the time because like once you're in my space, where/when did we share goals? Hi, by the way. That's okay. Hi, what's up? You can share your goal here. You can totally share your goal here. But yeah, anyways, nicknames. I give people nicknames. I'm really just stalling right now so you guys can all get ready for this. And so I can like really look through everyone's goals. So you can share your goal here. So what you want to do is you want to think of a goal that you've had that you maybe have had for a long time and it just hasn't been clicking and you've tried to do all the things and it hasn't worked out and it hasn't been like working out like you wanted it to. It hasn't been as easy as you want it to. Maybe something that you've like wanted and then you like fall back and you're like, oh, never mind. Maybe it's not meant for me. No, I really, really want it, but maybe it's not meant for me, right? Like, we want one of those goals. We don't want a goal that's like, oh, I want to have this by this day and it's fucking easy peasy and you're like, oh, I've been there, done that, and I just want to like do it again for security reasons. Like we want something that feels sticky. We want something that feels kind of scary, maybe like feels uncertain. My dog has 10 million nicknames. My dog does too. We have Tacky. His name is Tucker. I call him Tacky. I'm like at the scene right now. I call him Tacky. I call him Gremlin. I call him Goofy Goober, and I sing him the song from SpongeBob all the time. I'm a Goofy Goober. Yeah, we sing that when he's like next level going cray cray. What else do I call him? Oodles of things. I call him like Bubs because that's what my grandma calls my grandpa, and it's so cute. So I call Tucker that because I'm single. Anyways, yeah, that's also my love expression. So we want you to post below. These are some of the goals that we had. Jessie wants to fill out her private coaching, which is amazing because that's what you're going to really, really resonate with this. Okay. That's why I was like, let's start with that goal. Cause I'll tell you my story and you'll be like, holy fuck. Okay, cool. I'm super gross right now. And phlegmy. So clearly the proper thing to do when I'm phlegmy, is to drink coffee with cream in it. I'm like the worst. I'm like, I know shit because I'm a vocal coach, but yet I don't listen to myself, but that's okay. We have Mary, who's trying to find her way of combining her love of performing, her love of helping people, and love of connection into a way of living. I fucking love that. Just being from someone who, that's all I wanted was to get paid for like doing what I loved. That's like something that I feel super strongly. We have Kathleen, aka Katie. She said, where do I start? She wants to find, she wants to prioritize herself in her business rather than other people's stuff. She wants to go on more lives. She also wants to take like full body and half body pictures of herself and feel confident doing that. And she feels like she's holding herself back vocally. Then we have Jessica, who says she wants to be more visible in her business. So showing her face more on Instagram stories and her feed. I'm literally reading everyone's. Jody, you can put your goal in the comments, just so you can like get a grasp on like kind of where everyone's at. Yeah, cool. Yeah, wanting to show her face. I think that's a huge thing also that's going to go really good with what we're talking about today. Doing Facebook Lives. I get to break through my resistance so I can show up powerfully in my business and private support group for survivors of domestic violence and sexual assault. That's super dope. That's Zen's. I'm currently creating my Image Made Easy online course. I've been creating it for 4 years. Whoa, on and off. Yes, best thing. No, I suck. It sucks. So there's that. Yes, best thing. No, okay. Plus my goal of actually being present, consistent online leader, on and off. Okay, cool. So what I want you guys to think about is I want you guys to think about your best case fucking scenario right now. What is your best case scenario? Is it like, I want to be so visible? Is it I actually really, like, what is your actual best case scenario? What do you actually want? Like, what is actually going to get you what you really, really want? So if it's like, I want to be visible, well, what is that going to get you? So if you had like a million eyes on you right now, what does that actually get you? It's not that you want to be visible. It's something underneath that you think the visibility is going to give you, right? So like for Jessica, like filling out her coaching. that's gonna give, what is that gonna give you? What is that gonna make you feel really fucking good about? Like, what is that gonna give you? What's the feeling it's gonna give you? What's the financial it's gonna give you? Is it gonna make you feel stable? Is it gonna make you feel safe? Is it gonna make you feel successful? Like, what's that? Taking full body, half body pictures of yourself. This is for Kathleen. And being confident enough to put that on the internet. Like, what is that gonna give you? Is that gonna give you the confidence to be visible so that you can have what you want? Like, what is that for you guys? And so when I want you to think about what, like right now, like you put your goal. So I want you to grab a piece of paper, literally put your goal on top, literally put your goal at the top. Focus on like one thing right now. So whether that's like filling out my private coaching, or whether it's like being super visible on Facebook Lives, or was it showing my face more? Like, what is that and what is it going to give you? So I'm going to give you a second to write that down while I tell you kind of what my situation was. So I was really thinking of reopening my private coaching for a little bit. So this is kind of where I'm at. So I'm going to be so vulnerable with you guys. So I was really thinking about filling out my private coaching. That was my kind of like thing that I had a hit for this month, which is weird because I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. The first and foremost thing for me is like giving myself permission to change my mind, giving myself permission to like do whatever I want, giving myself permission to like let my body flow and like let my ideas flow. And that is kind of what came from, if you guys don't follow me super regularly online, I launched a course called Turn Up the Truth. And what that was last month and the month before, I'm pretty sure. I think it started in December. I can't even remember. But I was just like, I know I want a course. I know I want to create a course. I want to house a course that teaches people the foundational works of what I teach, so that when people work with me privately, they do have a foundational understanding of like self-expression work, social media consent, like all these different practices that I teach and preach on. And it gives people a really like solid foundation. Hi, Brittany, what's up? So it gives people like really solid foundation. So that's what I did a couple months ago. And that came out of me saying, okay, what do I actually want to share with the world? If I had no restrictions, what do I actually want to share? What do I want? Number one, which was I just wanted to be super fucking free to share what I was really passionate about and not feel like I had to constantly fit into like this cookie cutter standard of the industry that I was in. So I did Turn Up the Truth. It's so different than anything I've ever seen on the industry. So fucking cool. I'm very proud of it. I just lived my life and it sold, and that was really, really fun for me. So it was like super fun, and before that it was hustle. It felt like shit, felt constructive. So then this month I was like, that feels super fucking fun. Well, I don't really want to sell a course this month. That doesn't feel good. I'm doing a bunch of stuff with my book, so having a course and doing stuff with my book feels like very, very like overwhelming for me, because I did that last month, the month before, and I was like, ooh, I don't like love that. Because I'm pitching my book to stores. I'm doing so much stuff like in person that I would really love just like private clients with small containers. I can give so much love and support to them. I can really support them through their journey, but it's not like there's like 30 people or 10 people or 5 people or whatever, especially because I do want to show up really powerful for you guys in the experience group as well. So I was like, okay, cool. So I want to be able to take care of everyone that I have, all the containers of space that I have right now going on, and I want to open some spots for private coaching. And so that was my goal, private coaching. And then I started to feel a lot of resistance. And I was like, interesting. This is very interesting for me. Why do I feel so much resistance? And I was like, what? Like, first it was like, ooh, I want to film my coaching. Like, that sounds so fun. And it's like, the minute that I started to think of what I had to do in order to accomplish that, that's when things got really gross. Like, I started to feel really gross. Zen says, paying coaching clients and a large platform to reach as many survivors as possible to support them in healing. Amazing, amazing. And yours was visibility. Yeah, Facebook Lives, visibility, which I would chalk down Facebook Lives to also visibility, because Facebook Lives is just a platform that allows you to be super visible. So that's interesting to me, and I would, like, when I'm going to ask you the questions that I'm going to ask you, I just want you to keep in mind that like Facebook Live and visibility kind of go hand in hand, because it's like you're showing your face, unless you're doing a Facebook Live and you're like covering the screen the whole time because you don't want to be seen or whatever. But Facebook Live is a really a powerful, potent tool for you to have personal connection with your audience.
And it's really amazing. And that's why people say that, like, it's a really good platform to sell from, because you have that personal connection. Like, you see me on Facebook Live and you see my body language, you see how I'm speaking, you see if I'm reading off a piece of paper or not, you see if I feel super stiff in my voice or not. Like, you have an instant trust. If you like me. If you don't like me, you'd be like, fuck this girl, right? Like, you like wouldn't want to watch me. But if you like me, you're like, ooh, I feel this instant connection. I feel this instant trust. And it's like, okay, I feel this instant trust because I know that she's a real human being. And so I feel, especially when you're dealing with, because you said you're dealing with people who, and you're helping people who, supporters or survivors of domestic violence and sexual assault, that's huge. That's a very, like, intimate topic. And, like, being able to see you, that's a very powerful thing as well. Hi, Mary, what's up? So that's really powerful. So if you're just joining now, we're writing your goal at the top of a piece of paper. And we're just, and this is perfect because I'm going to ask you the first thing that came up. So, like, for me, I was like, ooh, I really want to open my private coaching. And then instantly I felt tightness. And I was like, what is going on? So I was like, cool. This is your first question, okay? So I will write it in the comments, too, of this video. If I can find this video. I can't find the video. Hold on. Like I said, I'm so flummy, yet I'm, like, chugging coffee. Amazing. Oh, I fluctuate between this is awesome and this sucks. I didn't see that. I saw that comment on here, on my computer, not on my phone. So that makes sense. Okay. So your very first question is, you're gonna put your goal at the top of the piece of paper. Okay. It's first. Then what you're going to do is you're going to ask, what do I need to do in order to... So when you write your goal, you're like, I want this because it's going to give me this. Like, I want this. I want to sign clients because it's going to make me feel very supported financially. I'm going to be able to give and express and love and nurture these people. I'm going to be able to take people through a transformative container. I get to have so much fun with these humans. Like, if anyone's working with me privately, you know that, like, I'm all about fun. Like, I'm like, let's have a fucking blast while transforming ourselves. And then also, it's like, I get to support these people so deeply. Like, that feels so fun for me. And I get to nourish all these other containers of space that I have on the internet, that right now that I have active clients in. I have active students in these spaces. And so it wouldn't serve me to, like, do another launch of something else, because it's like, this is what feels really good right now. So what do I need to do in order to sign a client? What do I need to do in order to find paying coaching clients? What do I need to do in order to have a large platform? What do I need to do in order to get paid for combining all my amazing performing arts stuff, right? And helping people. What do I actively right now think I have to do? And I don't want you guys to bullshit yourself. I don't want you guys to, like, miss congeniality shit. What I want you to think about, which is like I want to save the world, and I love, and, like, my thing is world hunger and blah, blah, blah. I want you to get really selfish about this, okay? I want you to actively say, like, what do I feel like I need to do? What do I feel like I have to do in order to accomplish this? Like, that's probably better. What do I feel like I need to do in order to... So it could be, what do I feel like I need to do in order to... fill my coaching. And so that's what I did. And I was like, number one, I feel like I have to post about it every fucking day. Number two, I feel like I have to constantly talk about it. Number three, I feel like I have to write content that is compelling enough to make people want to join. I have to touch on everyone's pain points. I have to, like, have all my specifics in my container laid out. I have to have specifically tangible results, right? And talk about them constantly. I have to, like, show up in everyone's feed and tell them why they need this. And, like, I can't let my energy drop once. I can't, like, feel off one day. I have to be on my ball, or on the ball all the time. I have to write a fuck ton of content about it all the time. Like, that was what was going in my head when I thought about what do I need to do. So for someone else, it might be like, what do I need to do to get on Facebook Live? And it might be like, I have to have super high energy. What do I have to do in order to combine my passions, my helping people, my thing with performing arts? And you might be like, I have to start an online business, or I have to do this. Like, what do I feel like I have to do in order to accomplish that. I just want you guys to write that down. And you guys can even put them in the comments if you want, because this is interactive. We're having an interactive space. So Laura just joined. Hi, Laura. What's up? So first, it's like, what is your goal? Second is, what do you feel like you need to do in order to accomplish that goal? It's a party, y'all. Exactly what I wrote down. Jesse, stop it. I fucking knew it. The minute that you said that, I was like, oh, this is so good. And the reason why I know that's what you're thinking, and I know that this is why I'm thinking this, is because it's what's programmed in the industry, which makes sense because it's marketing, it's like all this stuff, like it's sales science, it's all these things. It's like everything that we're taught on why people buy. And it makes sense. It's marketing. But here's the thing. This is my belief. I'm going to say here's the thing, but actually it's my belief. My belief, and this is what I realized when I was doing this, okay? And we're going to move forward and we're going to go through different processes so if you haven't written down why do I feel like I need to do, or what do I feel like I need to do in order to blank, this is your time to do that while I talk just for a hot second. So it's interesting because when I wrote all this down, I was like, that's so fascinating to me that I take this on and I'm like, this is Bible. This is what has to, in the words of Kim Kardashian, this is Bible. Like, I'm like, this is what has to happen. This is how I have to show up. This is exactly what the people say that I need to do in order to sign clients. And then when I really look but not, I'm smiling about and laughing too much in public over this live, but not too much, right? Okay, cool. Exactly. Perfect. That's perfect. But not too much, right? It's just enough. Yeah. So anyways, Kim Kardashian, Bible. So when it's like, we're programmed to believe that, but then when I'm thinking, like, I remember pitching publishers. And so what my underneath actual belief is, the actual Dani belief, is that all that shit is just literally like it's someone said, this works for me, I'm going to continue to teach it, which is perfect. And then everyone's like, ooh, that works for them. We're going to continue to learn it and we're going to continue to do it. And that's why it works, right? So when I think about that, I think about like when I went and like pitched publishers, one of the reasons why I didn't go with a publisher and I self-published, and like I was scouted for a publishing company and we had conversations, like me and this person, about this like what it would look like to have them publish me. And I kept thinking, like, they kept coming back at me and they're like, okay, but your audience isn't big enough. And they kept coming back at me and they kept being like, okay, well, you can't have a swear in the title. And they kept coming back at me and they kept being like stupid statistical things. Like, oh, in the past 3 years, we noticed that this happened and blah, 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 blah. And they were basing my success based on past statistics. And my belief about statistics is that statistics are just, here's what happened in the past. And it has no indication on your future. It has zero indication on your future. So I thought it was hilarious at the time that they were coming back at me, telling me statistics, past statistics, when I knew that this book would change the fucking course of the personal development industry. And I still firmly believe that. I firmly believe that this book is something that has never been done. It's never been, like, the personal development industry, when you pick up a book on the shelf, a self-help book, personal development, whatever you want to call it, okay, a guru book, whatever, you pick it up and it's fucking boring and there's a stick up everyone's butt and it's very like, let me tell you, let me bestow the information onto you, right? Like, no, that's not what we're fucking doing. We're doing something new. And so I thought it was super funny that people are basing past statistics off of like my success of this book. And I was like, fuck that noise, right? That's why I self-published with the company that I did, okay? But I was reading all these things that I wrote, like, what do I need to do in order to sign my next client, was what I wrote on the top. And everything that I wrote down that I just shared with you guys right now, I was like, that's so funny that all that stuff I'm taking as a fact when all it is the same shit. It's just statistics. This is what's worked in the past for people, and that's awesome. But it's just what's worked in the past for people. So I think that's super interesting. And so we're going to continue to go on. So if you guys haven't, and this is how you apply it to any of your goals and stuff like that, right? Like, we're talking about that because me and Jesse have that in common. You insert your own shit in there and we can talk about it, okay? So you guys can all make sure that you are super deeply supported within this container right now of space of this live stream. So knowing, when, that's what I imagined it sounded like, or When I was reaching out to people to shadow when I wanted to go to a specific major, or when I took fitness classes, I didn't have any specific rules or guidelines to follow, and they were successful. But once I started seeing what everyone else is doing in business, I keep falling flat. What? Yeah, okay, yeah. It's gonna get way better. Don't worry. So I want you to write down what do I feel like I need to do in order to sign my next client? What do I feel like I need to do in order to press live on a Facebook Live? What do I feel like I need to do to go live every single day? What do I feel like I need to do to take pictures of my body? What do I feel like and share them on the internet? I don't know. What do I feel like I need to do in order to finally start the fucking business and finally become an online influencer, finally become an online presence? What do I feel like I need to do in order to create like a business model or something like that with the performing arts and all my stuff, like whatever that is? And that could even be a thing. I feel like I have to create a business model or something like that in order to be successful. Like just whatever that is, write that down. The next question, once you have that written down, once you have all your reasons of what you think you need to do in order to do that, I want you to write down, you can put this in the chat, this feels like. So look at all these things that you have written down and just first word that comes to your mind. This feels like, and I will share with you what I said. I said, this feels conditional, restricting, a lot of fucking work, sticky, gross, and fucking boring. That's what I wrote. Yo, this feels like stress. That's so good. Mary, are you open to sharing some of the things that you wrote down? Like some of the things that you feel like you needed to do in order to have the result that you want. I'd be so fascinated to see what you put. Just because I've been in that space and I wonder if we have like very similar program beliefs. That would just be interesting to see. Okay, so this feels like, yes, perfect, cool. Feel free to put them in the chat. I feel like I need to. Yes, I'm so excited. Lay it on me. Lay it on me. Yeah, so this feels like conditional, restricting, a lot of work, sticky, gross, fucking boring. And I was like, this feels fucking boring. Like all that shit feels gross and boring and annoying. And when I think of things like my marketing tactics, so for example, I'll share with you guys a couple things that I'm going to do for my book. First of all, I submitted for a women's entrepreneur. It's called the Calgary, oh my god, it's like the women's convention or whatever here in Calgary, and I was like, hey, cool, I'm gonna get a booth to sell my book at. I was like, that sounds so fun. It's so random, and I just gonna like sit there and people will be like, what's this book? And I'll be like, I fucking wrote it. Do you want a signed copy? $25. Thank you so much. And like be able to do that, like I think that would be so fun. So that's one thing that I'm doing for marketing. Another thing I'm doing is that we're gonna do like pop-up book signings, but it's gonna be like, I need to get to the hatchback of my SUV fixed. But when the hatchback of my SUV is fixed, I'm gonna like sit in the back of my SUV like with boxes of books, yelling down streets, being like, does anyone want another book signed? Like literally like so fun. Another thing I'm gonna do is like read my book to strangers on the street. That's another thing that I'm gonna do. Another thing that I'm gonna do is do my own dares. That's what we're in the midst of right now. But it's like fucking fun marketing things that I love to do. And all that stuff doesn't sound like boring, and it doesn't sound sticky, and it doesn't sound like I have to do anything. It doesn't sound like whatever. And one of the reasons why it just sounds fun is because I have no reference point. I'm not friends with a lot of authors. I mean, like I am from like speaking at events, but that's not their main gig. So when I was like, I'm going to write a book, I looked on my shelf and I looked at everyone who like I didn't resonate with, and I was like, okay, I'm going to write a book my way. And then when I thought about marketing it, I didn't do any market research for marketing it. I was like, fuck it. I'm going to market it in the way that I feel good. Oh yeah, and I have oh my God, I almost forgot. I have a book signing at the University of Calgary as well. So I was like, sometime this year, I can't remember. I think in March, but which is super cool because that's where I got my BFA in acting, and I get to like go into the department and be like, hey guys, guess what? You can do whatever the fuck you want with your degree. So that's also cool. But everything that I did with that, there was no rules. Like I made up the rules. I had no reference point. But what I found fascinating was like when I'm looking at this structure of how I want to like sell out my one-on-one, or how I want to like promote my one-on-one even. It's based on someone else's floor plan. And so for me, it feels fucking boring. So we're going to go into that for a second. In a second, we're going to get more into that, but I'm just going to read this comment. Yeah, okay. So I feel like I need to know exactly what I want, market myself better. Ooh, interesting. Be a better performer. Ooh, interesting. Knock down doors. Ooh, interesting. Create a business. Yeah. And so how does that feel? That feels like stress, right? Yeah. And I think it's so interesting when we feel like, so this is the second question, second part of this, which is going to elaborate on this. Okay. So you're going to say, what do I feel like I need to do this? Boom. How does that make me feel? Boom. Then the next question is, who do I feel like I need to be in order to? Okay. So who do I feel like I need to be? Who? What qualities? Who do I feel like I have to become in order to do that? Now, what I found really interesting, I want you guys to write that down for yourself. I want you guys to just journal about that for a second. And I want to tell you that the first thing that came to my mind, I'm not going to say their name because I don't want to like put anyone under the bus or something, because it's not a them thing, it's a me thing. But the first thing that I wrote down was a person's name. And I thought that was really interesting. And I'll tell you a little bit more like in a second, because I want you guys to go through this process in real time. But when I tell you something after this, it's going to blow your fucking mind a little bit. But I wrote down someone's name. Like, who do I need to be in order to, like, sign my next client? I wrote a person's name. Like, I had to become someone other than myself in order to get what I wanted. I found that was fascinating. I wrote, like, I have to be, like, rich. I have to have clients who praise me regularly, who have, like, epic results. Which is so funny. Oh, yeah, and then I wrote, this is very interesting. Oh, and then I said I have to have, like, a full roster of clients. I have to, like, be living in my dream apartment already downtown. Like, I feel like I have to do that in order to sign a client. And I was like, this is interesting. And I remember writing this down underneath, and I was like, whoa, that's interesting. Because that's a part of the end goal. It's interesting that I said, this is what I need to have in order to have what I want, but that's part of the end goal that I'm moving towards, that I'm manifesting. So it's super interesting to me that I'm like, oh, I should already be there in order to have what I want. Or to be on the journey, I should already be there. I should already have done that. That's like me saying, I really want to like eat healthy. And I'm like, well, in order to like be healthier and eat healthy, I already have to be a fitness model. So like, why bother then? Because I'm not going to be able to get that. Right? Interesting. This feels like a recipe I need to follow, or I'll get it wrong. Yeah. Oh my God. I wonder, like the other day, I pondered on this, but I was in a mastermind and I was talking to my mastermind humans, and I was literally like, what the question was, what's something that you're afraid of? And I have a deep-seated root of like fearing fucking it up. And I have like codependency issues that I've been healing, and people-pleasing issues that I've obviously been healing. I talk about this shit a lot. That's not new. And stuff like that. And I still have this deep-seated fear that I'm going to fuck it up. Right? And it's funny because it's like, in my family, sorry, my hair's it's like very heavy. I keep touching it because I'm like, it's so heavy. I need to chop it all off. But yeah, it like felt like I was so afraid to fuck it up. I was so afraid I was going to do something wrong and get unsolicited feedback, because I had someone mention something to me about my content, and they're like, oh, like, I'm only mentioning this to you because you should be like sold the fuck out about this. And I was like, well, that's really sweet, but it was based on their perspective of my content. And I'm like, they're only following a limited perspective of my content because they only follow me on one platform that's not even my main platform. So I'm like, it's interesting that they're like assuming all my content is like this when they all only follow me here. Like, that's fascinating. And they like made a comment, and then I got into my head about it. I'm like, oh, well, maybe I fucked it up, right? Like, maybe I fucked it up in the eyes of this other person, which I thought was also interesting. Yeah. The most frustrating cookbook you never knew you needed. I thought I'm writing a cookbook called The Most Frustrating Cookbook You Never Knew You Needed, all about having fun and not needing to do things right in order for them to work. This is huge. That's so fucking funny. I know. And I when I cook, I just like make shit up. I never follow recipes and people get really mad, but it's super funny. That's why I can't bake. But yeah, so here's the dealio. Also, oh yeah, I was like, yeah, I have to be bolder with my content. I started writing people's names down that I was like, oh, my content has to be more like this person. My content has to be more like this. I have to be more like this person. I have to do more like this person. I have to be validated by others in the industry. And I thought it was interesting because I was like, that's interesting that I wrote that down, that I had to be validated by other people in the industry. And I'm like, well, I'm validated by a lot of people in the industry. Like, a lot of people talk really highly of me, which is really cool, in the industry. And I've done cool shit, and I speak on cool stages, and I'm invited back for the second time speaking at the Great Canadian Women's Summit. I'm like, that's really cool. So, like, who do I feel like I need to be validated by? And they were people who, like, I don't know personally. There are people who, like, are, like beyond, and I still felt that need to be, like, in the cool kids club. Of like, they're the cool kids, and I have to be in that in order to get what I wanted. So whatever that is for you. Okay, so who do you feel like you need to be in order to do that? And what does that feel like? Okay. So who do you feel like you need to be, and what does that feel like? And what does that feel like for you? For me, it felt shitty, incapable. It made me feel unworthy. It made it feel impossible. It made me feel like I had to change who I was in order to be successful. That's what it felt like for me. And when you guys are done writing down how it made you feel and who you needed to be and how it made you feel, can you just give me love heart showers or something so that I can move on? Because the next part you want to do on a separate piece of paper. Yay, thank you. Okay. So next part, and if you're not done, that's okay, because you get this forever. Okay. So the next part you're going to ask yourself, so on a completely separate piece of paper, I want you to write down, what do I actually want? Like, what do I actually want? Like, you're saying that you want this one thing, you say you want this one goal, and yet you have to do all these super shitty things to actually get to it. What do you actually want? And when I wrote this down for me, I wrote, I wanted to be more me and be wildly successful. I want to dick around on the internet. I want to be visible. I want to share my heart and soul and shit that I'm interested in, and be a walking experiment in my own life for others to learn from. To play and express and be happy. To be healthy, to be wealthy, to have low stress, to dance, to play, to sing, to be the best version of myself, to learn, to get paid, to learn, teach, experience, grow, and play, is what I wrote down. And that's always been true for me. I've always loved learning. Loved learning. And I was like, if I can just get paid to learn and to teach, I'd be so happy. But things that I'm passionate about and things that I'm like obsessed with. And I was so happy, like, but I don't want anything that's like just one thing. I want to be able to explore and experiment and do new things all the time. Cause like, I've done jobs where I go into schools and teach. I've been a residency artist. That, I love it. And I would still love, like, if I would totally go into school right now and be like, yes, let's do it. Right? But doing it consistently bores me. Like, I cannot do it for more than 3 weeks in a row. I can't. I love traveling. Can't travel for more than three weeks in a row. It gets boring. Like, for me, I need to continuously have things that are stimulating and experience and play and learn and then teach and then learn and then teach. Like, that's my favorite thing, is to learn a topic, to master it within my own life, and to teach about it and to talk about things while I'm learning it and talk about things and not be perfect. And like, that feels really good to me. So that for me is like, what do I actually want? So like, what do I actually want? How do I actually want to sell out my one-on-one? Like, what does that actually feel like to me? Okay. And one thing that I think is really fascinating with this is like, when we look at this list, and it could be for making a living doing what you love as a performing artist. It could be signing your one-on-one. It could be like being more visible and signing coaching clients. It could be feeling really, really empowered in your body, like any of that stuff. What can tend to happen is if you're someone who you are like, you've been working on this goal for a long time, it can feel like you've already failed publicly so much. It can feel like, well, I'm not there yet. And I've told people over and over and over again that I was doing it and I didn't do it. And like, oh, people are probably like, if I do it again, if I try it again, people are going to look at me and they're going to be like, wow, she's doing it again. Wow, he's doing it again. Wow, they're going to try it again. Really? And we get in our heads about it. We get in our heads of being like, people have seen me fail so much. People are going to think this about it. I've had this conversation with this person. What are they going to think when they know that I'm going after it again? What are they going to think when they know that I'm going to try something new and I failed at every single thing that I've tried before? What are they going to think like this? And we get into our heads about it. You're reading my mind. Thank you. The Wizarding World of Dani. Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, that's because Jesse always calls me a wizard. Yeah, so the Wizarding World of Dani. But we get into our heads and we think, oh my God, like, are they going to see me fail again? Are they going to see me trip up again? Right? Are they going to see me not hit my goal again and again and again? And so we don't even let ourselves get to the what do I actually want, because we're already assuming we're going to fail. We don't even let ourselves get to the, but what's the best case scenario? Because we already assume that our best case scenario isn't going to happen because it hasn't happened before. And what if they see you fall on your face again and it's public? What if, right? Like, it's that feeling. So I want you guys to just give yourself fucking permission right now to write down, what do I actually want? And here's the thing. Who the fuck cares if someone watches you fall again? Who cares? Who cares if someone thinks that, like, oh, you failed again. Oh. Like, who cares? What feels good for you? And when you take that power back, like, for example, for me, what I'm doing, you guys, I wrote in my calendar is I'm opening up my one-on-one till the end of February. And if it doesn't fill, who the fuck cares? Who the fuck cares? But I'm moving on. I'm not gonna, like, in the past, I used to make myself be like, I have to do this until it's successful. Or I'd be like, I have to do this until this date, but like, what if it doesn't happen? But like, who the fuck cares? What feels good for me right now is this month focusing on my one-on-one. If it doesn't fucking sell, who the fuck cares? Like, I don't care. I don't care. And that's liberating. That feels so good. That gives me full permission. And it's only until, how many days are in the month? 28? Are we in a leap year? What am I saying? A leap year? Is that on February? Oh, 29. Okay, perfect. But that's the thing is, like, I have until the 29th, and I'm going to sell my coaching, and if it doesn't fucking sell, who cares? But I'm going to do it until the 29th. Or until it sells out. And I'm going to give myself permission to do it publicly. But I'm not going to have to follow every single thing that was in the previous thing of what I have to do. I'm going to talk about what I actually want to do. And so when you write down, what do you actually want to do? What do you actually want? I want you to look at that and I want you to ask yourself, knowing that that's what you actually want and that's what you actually want to have happen in your life, whether that be sell your one-on-one, anything like that, like have a super successful business, whatever that is, what you actually want to happen. Like for me, be more me and more wildly successful, to dick around and be visible on the internet, like all those things. If that's what I really want, does my current mentality actually support this vision? No, it doesn't. Fuck no, it doesn't. Because what was on the page before? That I had to be someone other than who I am in order to be successful. And what is my actual desire? To be more of myself and be successful. So what I'm going to do is I would rather compromise my end goal if it means I have to betray my own integrity to get there. And so what am I going to do? I am not going to get there. I'm not going to let myself do that goal. I'm not going to let myself go into the habits that are so painful because I think I need to sacrifice who I am to get there. I'm going to much rather compromise my goal. I would much rather compromise the possibility of wealth. I would much rather compromise the possibility of success than compromise my own belief and value system and change who I am to get there. And when you do that and you have this mentality of I have to be someone different, I have to be better, I have to somehow improve myself, I have to somehow be 20 million pounds skinnier, I have to somehow have blonde hair, I have to somehow do that, these random things, I have to be more like this person, I have to write more like this person in order to be successful, and yet your deep down desire is to be so successful being yourself, you are going to compromise the actual goal, or you're going to compromise what you actually desire in the long run more than you would be more willing to compromise that than actually compromising who you are, because it feels so fucking painful to betray yourself again like that, especially if you have patterns of codependency, especially if you have patterns of people pleasing, because that means that once again, you're not only going to betray yourself for someone else, you're betraying yourself to get something that you want, and you're just not willing to do that. You're done. You're capped out. So you're not going to let yourself do that. I just wrote down that I want to perform and act, and yet I've been telling people I'm done with acting for a while, and now I'm worried about continuing to perform because I told people I was done. Who the fuck cares? Exactly. Oh my gosh. You know, you're gonna relate to this, Mary. It's so funny. So I've been kind of like dabbling like back and forth from acting like for the past couple of years, right? Like we met on a set, right? For like that like commercial thing. But anyways, I've been dabbling back and forth, and I decided to like audition for the student film. I didn't get one of the main roles. And then they asked if I wanted to be an extra on set. And I'm like, okay, this is like a student film. Like there's probably the most it's going to be is like coffee. And I just get to hang out with people all day and hang out with super inspiring people who are like working on stuff. And like, I'm just hanging out, right? Because I'm just like an extra for this thing. And I was thinking in my head about canceling yesterday, which is so random, but I was like thinking in my head of like bailing out because I was like, what does that mean about me if I'm going to go do an extra gig or go like be an extra on this thing and I'm not getting paid for it? What does it mean about me that I've like spent so many years in the professional acting field and I'm going to do something that's a volunteer thing? And then I was like, who the fuck cares? Because how fun is that going to be? It's just going to be so fucking fun. It's gonna be so fun. Like I have really cool things that are coming up that I'm like monetizing, but like I don't have to monetize every fucking thing. Like this one specific thing, it was just because I was like, this sounds fun. I would love to do that. Let's do it. And I just said yes to an opportunity that was so random. And I don't really care. I don't really care because tomorrow the only thing I'm doing is like writing content. And when they don't need me, what am I gonna be sitting and doing? Writing content. And then what else do I have to do? Hang out with people and talk all day long. That's one of my favorite things to do. So it's like literally who the fuck cares? Literally who the fuck cares? Yeah, I'm gonna have the best time. I fucking and there's no pressure because it's like I'm not represented by anyone. There's no pressure, which is like agency wise. There's no pressure because I'm not represented by anyone. There's literally zero pressure because I'm going to like a student film thing. The best case scenario is that I have the time of my life and it doesn't even fucking matter. The best case scenario is that I have the time of my life and eventually when those people like graduate or they create something really amazing, they contact me and they're like, hey, Danny was super fun to have on set. Or they're like, hey, do you need to have a videographer for this, like for your speaker reel or something fun like that? Like, you know what I mean? Like connections, connections. And we don't always have to have a meaning of what are they going to think of me in order for us to give ourselves permission to do what we fucking want to do. Right? Okay. So now that we have that, now that you're like, based on what do I want, you can look. You can be like, literally like, what do I want? What have I been telling myself I need to do in order to actually have the end goal that I desire? Yeah, fucking conflicting. What does that mean? That means that like you actually are working off of duplicity in your energy. You're saying, I really want this. This is my end goal. These are my values. This is what I desire. But I have to compromise every part of who I am to get that. And you fucking won't. You just won't. So now what you get to say is you get to say, cool, so this is what I've been taught that I need to do in order to get to what I want. What if I actually could do whatever I felt really good about in order to get what I wanted? What about that? So for me, I was like, okay, cool. So if that's what I'm working on, that doesn't serve my vision, what do I actually want to do? Like what feels really good? And I was like, really fun marketing things, like play. I want to just share my life on the internet. I want to share my beliefs. I want to share what I'm learning about. I want to just be like living my life. And I want to fill out my, I don't know what this says. I want to fill out my one-on-one with energy first. Like I just want to have a blast and be like, hey guys, this is what's fucking happening. Like if you're into it, awesome. If you're not, you're not. But like, I don't want to have the pressure of what other people will think. And so here's the cool part. And then I was like, nice, yes, I just gotta like be in my zone of genius and sell my one-on-one the fuck out. And then I literally sat down, and this is what I want you guys to do now. This is like a full masterclass, guys. But this is what I realized, right? And I was like, okay, cool. So I've been working off of this belief system that completely and totally is not aligned with my value system. And so my value system, so therefore, no wonder why I'm so frustrated and I feel like a fucking fraud and I feel gross and I feel like like I have to do super weird things in order to like fill out my one-on-one because I've been programmed to believe that. So what if I threw all that out and I gotta do it my own way, and I'm like, what is the trigger for me thinking that? And I realized that the reason why it's like that is because I am so obsessed with everyone else's social media, because I've been avoiding all this energy that has come up that has been like, I feel unworthy, I don't feel good enough, I don't know what I want to do, I'm totally obsessed with everyone else's beliefs, I'm totally obsessed with what everyone else wants me to do, all this stuff is coming up to the surface, and I've just been avoiding it. And what I've been doing instead is scrolling and absorbing other people's social media content, numbing out, being like, okay, can someone else tell me how to think, because I don't like the thoughts in my own head right now, right? And so when we do that, when we act from that place, we are literally saying, I'm abandoning every part of what I'm actually feeling that's giving me an indication of what my next steps are. And I want someone else to like just give me their way, because I refuse to like abandon myself to get what I want. And so what if you never had to abandon yourself in the first place to get what you want? And that's what we're talking about. And so for me, I literally created a little challenge for myself that I'm going to have 7 days of creating versus consuming. And so this is what I decided for myself. I'm going to create, I'm not going to consume. And so for you, I want you to think about what is the triggers that literally get you so in your head and comparing yourself to everyone, or get you so in your head and wondering what people are thinking, get you so in your head and like being obsessed with how everyone else is doing it. And what I realized is that anytime I had an off vibe or something like that, I would just like plug into someone else's content. I would just like plug it. I would like scroll mindlessly. And the first day actually, because yesterday was the second day, the first day I scrolled so much still. And I noticed myself picking up my phone and just scrolling. And how much fucking time I wasted scrolling. I would scroll for like 3 hours at night, just like scrolling. I'd watch Seinfeld and I'd scroll. And I'd feel like shit the entire time that I was scrolling. And like, I'd be like doing other things that I would scroll. And then while I was doing that, I was saying like, oh, I don't have enough time to go back through these courses that I have. I don't have enough time to like read this book that I just bought. I don't have enough time to do this. Yeah, totally. I do it too, yeah. I don't have enough time to like read this book that I just bought on codependency that I'm so fucking excited to learn about, that is going to help my clients massively because it's going to help me massively, right? Like I don't have time to do all that stuff. And yet what was I doing? Numbing out and scrolling. And did that speed me up? No, it fucking slowed me down. So every single time that I picked up my phone and I was like, I don't need to scroll right now. What do I actually need to do? What do I want to create right now? And like I started creating versus scrolling, and then I would be like, okay, I create, and I'd be like, well, I have nothing to do now. And then I put my phone away and I feel like I have so much more time in the day. And so what I was doing before, the mentality that I was doing before, is I was just spending the entire day shaming myself and then wondering why I wasn't moving forward. And feeling like I've been here for so many months. I've been in the same space for so many months. I've been doing the same shit for so many months. How come I can't move forward? Because I was spending my days scrolling in like someone else's feed and like literally abandoning myself, taking on other people's opinions and completely like disregarding all of my beliefs and my opinions. And I recognize that I do that. That's a habit that I do when I feel like who I am is not enough to get what I want. When I feel like who I am as a coach is not enough to fill my coaching program. When I start to discredit my own strength, when I start to discredit my own power, and when I start to discredit my own work, is when I lean into other people's work because I think they know more than me. I think they're better than me. I think they know more than me. I think that maybe they know something that I don't. Maybe like they're doing it in a certain way that I'm not. Maybe that's the reason. And I'm not even giving myself enough time or enough space to actually implement my own shit and see success because I'm focusing on everyone else telling me what to do. Which, if we learned about what I actually want, is that I want to do things my way. So it's completely disregarding what I actually want, what I actually desire. But when you have it in place, and when you have it like, when you stop working off the belief that I want this, but I have to completely abandon who I am and I have to completely abandon every part of who I am in order to get this, when you stop working off of that mentality, it gets so much easier because then you get to show up and you just get to play and you just get to be more of you, and it just starts working. And it starts working because you're actually giving yourself space to live and expand and breathe and experience life and not just experience other people's thoughts and belief systems. You get to create your own. And especially if you're a leader in the industry, or especially if you want to do something really powerful in this world, or especially if you want to be like the forefront of your life, and like go make opportunities happen and like go like forth and actually do really cool shit in the world, you actually have to lean into not only your intuition, right? You have to also lean into what do I want? What am I called forth to do? And what feels really fucking fun for me? Because that's going to guide you to do the things that you actually want. That's what guided me to write the book. It's like, this is fun. That's what guided me to go into a store and like pitch them. It was fun. It feels fun. It feels exciting. It feels like, oh, I would like that. It feels so fun and it's so random, but it feels so good, right? Where if you're working from the past stuff, you're going to feel like shit, okay? So I wrote down like create, overconsume, no scrolling, no consuming other people's content, no unintentional void filler or comparison, only creation. And then I was like, things I can consume. I gave myself permission to consume books, podcasts, courses I'm in, but that's it. And it honestly made me want to vomit. And I said, exactly. This is exactly why I had to do this. This experience feels unknown, nervous, fearful. What if I'm going to like miss out on something? It feels off, but it's, but all in all, it feels very curious and very exciting. What's going to come from this is what I thought. And today what came from it was my realization that I'm like, yeah, I do want to fill my one-on-one. It's not just because someone else is filling theirs or something like that. It's because I actually genuinely want to. So that was super fun to come to that realization and be like, yeah, I do want to fucking do this. Like, this sounds really fun. This sounds exciting. And I don't care if people see me fail miserably in like public. I don't give a fuck because it's not about them. It's about the people that I'm here to help. It's not about the people who are going to be like, oh, she didn't fill her coaching program. It's going to be about the people who are like, I need this work in my life. Does that make sense? Okay. Woo! What a masterclass. Questions, comments, concerns? Does anyone have questions while I'm still here? And you guys can go back through this a gazillion times if you want. I'm getting so many notifications. And honestly, you're not the only one that feels this way, by the way, guys. If you resonate with anything that I'm saying, not only are you going to resonate with me because I feel this way too, but also I've gotten so many messages from people today, even about my, the Instagram story that I posted yesterday about this. People are like, holy fuck, that's me. I'm like, yep, it's all of us. So yeah, super exciting. Okay. I'm going to give you guys like a minute to ask questions. Yes, this makes me feel not so alone. Yeah, and one of the coolest parts about being a leader is that when you give yourself permission to be more visible, when you give yourself permission for people to see you, experience you, like, and experience your content, and just like from a place of like, you are a person, you are a human being, people are like, holy shit, I don't feel so alone. And that's that connection. They're going to be like, you get it. I want to pay you and I want to come to you because you fucking get it. You understand me. And that feels, there's nothing better than feeling so understood. Like, you can invest in whoever you want to invest in or whatever courses, but when you work with someone who like deeply gets you and you're like, you get it, you fucking get me, it feels so good and you feel so seen and it feels amazing. And so therefore, if one of your things is I need to be visible, let yourself be seen. Let yourself be at the forefront. If you're someone who is personally helping people out, let yourself be physically seen. Yeah. And I would even challenge you to let your picture be on. This might be another conversation, but let your picture be at the forefront of your Facebook. An actual picture of you. If that's something that you are working with people on, let it be an actual photo of you. Let that be the forefront. Let yourself go live. Let yourself be seen. Let yourself be visible. And every single thing that you're scared of, if that brings up anything, and that goes for like, let yourself sell your one-on-one coaching. Jessie, let yourself talk about going back into acting, Mary. Like, let yourself be visible with that. And people might have judgments and people might stick their noses up, but it's not fucking about them. And everything that you're afraid of that is going to happen when you do allow yourself to be visible, that is exactly why you need to do it, because you need to show other people that they're not so alone. And that's really what it is. Okay. You just spoke to my soul. Really, I just wrote down, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing and who the fuck cares. I'm doing it anyways. I love it. It's so true. It's so true. That's like with my one-on-one. I'm just like letting myself like not know what the fuck I'm doing. It's gonna be so fun, guys. Guys, follow my journey about selling my one-on-one this month. And maybe I'll come back at the end and be like, that was terrible. This was awesome, or whatever. One thing that I always say to my kids, like when I go in and I teach kids, one thing I always say, and I'm like, worst case scenario, it's totally awful. Worst case I don't say fucking, but I'm like, worst case scenario, it sucks. Worst case scenario, you're terribly wrong. But what's the worst thing that can happen? You're terribly wrong and you say, oh, okay, I was wrong. Like, that's it, right? So, like, follow my shit too on this journey of, like, me selling my 101, because it's going to be, like, a shit show, and, like, worst case scenario, no one signs up and who cares, right? Anyways, so fun. So fun! I'm so excited. I hope this gave you, like, so much fucking permission. It gave me permission, too. I'm very excited. Okay, I love you guys so much. I'm going to skedaddle, mainly because I have to pee. But I love you guys, and you guys are so badass, and let me know how this helped you. Let me know if you're going to do. I appreciate your existence so much. Oh, I appreciate yours. Hugs. Yeah, so I love you guys. Let me know what you're doing. Let me know if you're going to do the social media challenge. Let me know if you're going to do a different challenge. Like, for example, Mary, if it's like, I just know this because like speaking about the acting industry and stuff like that, like one thing that I had to do is I had to stop following my friends who were doing, not like, I didn't like unfollow them. I didn't even mute them. I just stopped letting myself get fed into their, like when they would post stuff that they're like on a film set in Toronto, like this is a couple years ago, but because I was doing something so different and everyone was like, you gave up on acting? And I'm like, well, no, like, trust me, that's like my whole entire life. What I do now in my business, everything from it is what I have experience from in my theater degree and like in being an actor and stuff like that. And I love it. But when I was like first like walking away or like stepping away and doing my own thing, I had to stop feeding into like following everyone else's like film stuff. And like, what are they doing in Toronto? What are they doing in Vancouver? What are they doing here? And it was because I had such bad FOMO. Like I had such bad fear of missing out. Like, what am I missing out on by doing my own thing? What am I missing out on? Right? So you just have to like give yourself permission to like, whatever that may be for you. And that was just an example. It might not be the case at all for you, Mary. But if you're like, I feel fearful going back into it because I said I was stepping away from it, and you have someone who maybe you follow them and that's what it makes you feel like that, just like stop buying into that. Stop giving that person attention. Stop giving that person like that energy. And just like, and then literally it could be as simple as you see their post and you just keep scrolling. Right? Or you like stop like being fed into that idea that like you're missing something or you are missing out. Okay. Anyways, I love you guys. Tell me what you're doing. Tell me if you're going to do the social media thing with me or if you're doing something different. And I love you guys. Okay. Bye. Bye.